Hey everyone, Mr. Hancock here. This video is for any of my comp classes about how to type up your documentation inside the documents themselves within, say, Word, the traditional downloaded version, or Word Online. So I want to take a minute on that. This is a part, especially for, I'll say, like online Comp 1 or Comp 2 students, this can be especially confusing. My traditional classes, obviously, I'm there, I'll go over with them, and I'm there to help them right on the spot. For online students, it can be challenging in this sense. So I want to take a minute and make a video showing you how to do it and everything. So let's get to it. First thing, I'm in a Comp 2 right now, and I'm going to click into the first week, week 4. This is where the actual draft is due. So I want to kind of go through this. Inside of this, let me see a sample. I also put up a sample short story essay. I want to show you that in just a moment. Let me bring this up. Go ahead and open that up for just a second. Bring this back down. Okay. So back over here for a minute. There's that, but also you'll notice in here there's videos of me talking about format and documentation. Watch those. 3 parts. Now you'll also notice this is a video, YouTube video, talking about the new 8th edition. Now if you're watching this and we're using something beyond, they come out with a 9th edition or something, which who knows if they will, but if they did, know to just update it and do what they say for the 9th, and the YouTube will have plenty of things to clarify on that, but it won't be that much different than the 8th edition. But right now we're talking about the 8th edition MLA. So anyway, that will help you out with the works cited page. The next video talked about in-text citations for that. Now this is the main thing I want to show. It's pasted down in this as a really big page, but it's also in a Word document here. This is for, especially for Comp 2, how to cite a poem, a short story, a play, anything like that in the works cited page in your paper. So we'll cover that in just a minute, all right? And then the next one is for you to, where the next page here on 9 will be where you'll submit your paper. Okay, so anyway, let's talk about documentation. You can go back and watch those other videos about why we do it and so on. But we're looking for 2 places you want to do it, all right? You want to put it in text, and you want to do it in the works cited page. So really quick, I want to bring back that sample short story essay I put up. This is from a previous student. I've wiped it clean here. No personal information or anything on here. And this was a pretty good short story essay. But one thing I want to show, mainly I give this to you for a few reasons. You can see like formatting. You can see like how a thesis works. You can see how the C method works in the body, how the intro and conclusion work together. So this is a good example of what you should be shooting for, okay? But also I did this so you can see documentation in text and works cited page, okay? So let's first talk about in text. For this class, when you're dealing with your primary source is going to be your short story. Next unit or unit 2 will be a poem. 3rd unit will be the play. Those are primary sources. Those are the texts in which we will analyze. So when you're doing one of those, you're going to be looking for, inside the in-text citation, last name, page number, okay? Now, if you're not using the book, you're using, say, a website or something, you're still going to need not the page number, but the in-text citation will have the last name, okay? So notice right here, they are using Poe 115. So that's page 115, author's name Poe. That's it, okay? Now, when do you use these? I talk about these in other places. You will have these anytime you reference the story specifically with examples. So bottom line is we know that every body paragraph should have them. However, they could be in other places as well. But anytime you quote, you will stick the citation right up against the quote. If you are paraphrasing in your own words, then it will go at the end of the paragraph. So you'll notice even down here on this first body paragraph, that's a little excessive, but they are from 2 different pages, so that's acceptable. But still, no problem with documentation here. They're done the right way, and it's in the right place, okay? And so down here, you'll notice there's more, all right? So I'm going to go over here to this sample essay that I've got. Here we go. You notice everything says, the same thing. It's just copied over. It's just for visual effect here, okay? So anyway, let's say inside of this first body paragraph here, I paraphrase something from Faulkner. So I would open up, at the very end, I would open up my parentheses, put the last name of the author, space. I don't have to put No, it's going to kick on the next line. But I don't have to put PG, PP, page, anything like that. But I'm just going to put my page. I want to make something up. 415. There we go. Close parentheses. Period goes on the very, very end. Okay, so the citation goes inside the sentence there. I have some students asking because they'll get it off the internet. They'll try to number paragraphs. You only do that if they number the paragraphs. So like if the document you have there has numbers numbering the paragraphs, then you'll put the paragraph number. You shouldn't see that. So if it's just an online version of it from a website, you'll pretty much just have the last name like that, okay? And that's all you'll need to do for in-text citations. Remember, if you quote, it must go right up against the end of the quote. If you paraphrase in your own words, which is good, at the end of the paragraph, okay? So every body paragraph should have one at least, because if we're using the C method and we're providing examples or evidence from the text, you have to cite that evidence, even if you paraphrase in your own words, okay? So that is in-text citation. There's not much more I can say to that right now, all right? When we go into research in the next paper, you'll still do the same thing. Author's last name and page number. If it's from a website, just the author's last name. Now, if you don't have an author and you don't have a page number, you'll have a summary. You'll like a shortened article title with quotation marks inside of the parentheses, but I will help you with that later as well, okay? But anyway, there's that. So let's go down to the very bottom. Let's talk about your works cited page. So first thing you'll notice that, let's pretend this is the very end of the essay. There it is, all right? Nothing else goes on this page. It doesn't even matter if you only go on the second page, you just go over one word. You still have to move to a brand new page for the works cited page. It's its own dedicated page. Also, do not make a works cited page in a separate document from your essay. It has to be a part of the same document. So, going down here it is. It says works cited page. So, I cited works cited right in the middle there, and then I moved the cursor back to the left to begin the essay, to begin the citation. So what the heck goes here? So that's why I want to go back over here for just a second. This document here, as well as what you see pasted, which is the document itself, shows you what should go in there. Now, there are websites where you can type in information. It'll spit out citations for you. I'm telling you from personal experience as a student and a teacher for years, don't trust them. They can be good. A lot of them can work if you know what you're doing and put it in the right spot. But if you're not sure or if you have no clue, it will burn you. I promise you. So don't trust those things. They're good reference. They can help you, but don't trust them 100%. So anyway, what I do is I use this content here. This comes from the Purdue Owl. If you even look up like a bird, O-W-L, if you look up Purdue Owl, the website will come up. It's a great reference website for MLA, APA, Turabian, Chicago, all these just reference research guides and everything. So anyway, what you'll see here, a lot of these citations for works cited pages will give you everything you need in the right order. And they'll show you punctuation matters, italics, quotations, all that stuff matters. So really look here and pay attention to these things. And all you got to do is look at the example, look at this template here, look at the example, and fill it in. That's all you got to do. So what you have when you're getting this story from your textbook, you're technically pulling out a work from an anthology. Your book is technically an anthology. So that's what this is, a work in an anthology. So this shows you how to cite this, okay? So first thing you'll notice, it's the last name and first name of the author. So if we're doing William Faulkner, that would be Faulkner William. Title of the essay. Technically, that means the story. So A Rose for Emily in quotation marks. Title of collection, that is the title of your book. And then right there, edited by, it's Kelly J. Mays, I think, or something, but check on that. Publisher, the year, and the page range. So if it goes from page 100 to 110, that's what you put, 100-110. And you can see right under that, here is an example. So this obviously from Muriel Harris. The article is, or say the story is, Talk to Me, Engaging Reluctant Writers. What's the name of the book? A Tutor's Guide, Helping Writers One-to-One. Edited by Ben Raffoth. And the publisher, Heinemann, the year 2000, and the page range 24 to 34 right there. That's it. So you don't. It's almost like if you take the time to go and use one of those websites or anything like that, it's probably going to take you more time to fill that stuff out than rather than just go over here and type your information in this order, just from the book. So knowing that, that's what we're going to do over here inside of our works cited page, okay? Now, let me go ahead and show you our sample student essay. At the very end of this, here's their works cited. And this is what it should look like. So notice, Edgar Allan Poe, Cask of Amontillado, The Norton Introduction to Literature, in italics. The book is italicized. Editor, Kelly J. Mays. 12th edition. So notice it didn't say that earlier, but we do have an edition here, so that's where you'll stick that. New York. Actually, on this, you don't even need the NY. All you need is New York because it's well known. And then even W.W. Norton and Company, Norton would do fine too. But then you have your page range, okay? I would go ahead on this one, put PG as well, okay? Or PP, excuse me. But there you go. That's how that should look at the end. So I highly recommend you use this sample short story essay as a guide for what your works cited should look like too. Now you'll notice, and this is kicked over a little bit, this is called a hanging indent. I should have a video on how to do this, but it's very simple. So let me show you really quick. I want to highlight this and turn it off first. There's a couple ways you can do it. So when you type it, this is what it should look like, okay? So don't worry about doing any kind of hanging indent until you're done typing the works cited page. I don't care if you have 1 or 100 sources. Type the whole thing normal first, and then we'll worry about hanging indent. So anyway, starting here, normal, type it. All the way around, let it naturally wrap. You know what that means. That's when you're typing and the cursor immediately moves on over to the next line on its own automatically. So let it naturally wrap, okay? And then when you're done here, stop. Okay? Now, if you have another source, you want to push enter before you begin that next source, okay? That obviously would bring you to a new line like that, okay? So that's that. Now, let me go ahead and just for an example's sake, let's just say this is a second source that we're doing here, okay? And I'll make it extra long. That way we can see the wrap happen. Okay, so notice it's normal here, okay? Now, what do I do for hanging indent? There's a couple things you can do. If you were doing this on Word Online, you should know by now if you are, this is a little bit different up here. But the first thing you want to do, regardless, is highlight your sources. Don't highlight the works cited title, which that's misspelled, but still. Don't highlight that. What you want to do is just highlight the 2 sources. Or if it's just one, highlight the 1. Now when you're done, you go up here where you turn it to double spacing. You go to paragraph, go to this little box right here. And now that you're here, go where it says special, indentation. You know, that's where you turn it to double. But right here, for indentation, for special, click hanging. There it is. Now when I push OK, it's going to kick them both over. Now, there it is. That's a hanging indent. Now, how did it know what to kick over and what to leave it alone? It was all dependent upon where I pushed enter. When I let it naturally wrap, the computer read it as it's the same entry for the same one source. But when I pushed enter, that told the computer like, hey, we're starting a new entry, a new source. And that will be the first line that won't kick over with an indentation, okay? So that's how you do that. So let me go back here and get rid of that there. And just get rid of that. And let's just say we're back to where we were with just this one source for this first paper. So do the same thing. Highlight it. Go up to your paragraph options. Go down to the indentation for special. Click hanging. And OK. There it is. We're done. You're done. Now, do not try to get in there manually and push tab or space bar to kick over that next line. Because when you start to get to other sources and you have multiple sources, it will just mess everything up behind it. So it'll just cause everything else to be just completely jacked up. So that's what I recommend highly on that, okay, y'all? So that's what I wanted to show you, how to do an in-text citation, how to make a works cited page. That's it. Last thing I want to show you really quick is back over here. If you are in Word Online, you should have opened up, like when you come over here, you could open up right here the MLA style paper. If you click that in Word Online, it's already got the formatting set. Okay, so obviously you want to erase all this stuff. But if you go to the very bottom, it gives you, and it looks kind of messy, but you see it says works cited right there. And then it starts to give you some information about, it looks real similar. So it has a place for that with hanging indent already set. So you can kind of play with that if you want to. Well, anyway, y'all, I'm out of time. If you have any questions, shoot me an email. Please don't wait till the last minute. And watch this video over again if you need. But if you need me, I'm here.